नित्यानन्देश्वरसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Sri Mahans, Mahans, Tanedar, Kotari, visitors, viewers sitting with us through Nityananda TV, Sadhana TV, Ara TV and through two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha all over the world. The city is sitting with us, two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha. Houston Adinam, Dubai Adinam, Singapore Adinam, Rajabalayam Adinam, Hyderabad Adinam, Pudukottai, Bididi Nityananda Nagara, Oklahoma Adinam, Amersfoort, Netherlands, Toronto Adinam, Kuala Lumpur Adinam, Seattle Adinam, China, St. Louis Adinam, Ohio Shivananda, Tiruvanmiyur Adinam, Austin, Montclair, California, Los Angeles Adinam, San Jose Adinam, Kuala Lumpur Adinam, Oklahoma Adinam, Singapore Adinam, Bangalore North, and many more cities are joining. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I'll continue to expand on the Kathopanishad Shanti Mantra. Please recite along with me. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vitvishavahay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Understand, listen. I'll read out the meaning, translation, and then expand on it. Om, may we both together be protected. May we both be nourished and enriched. May we both bring our hands together and work with great strength, energy and enthusiasm. May our study and learning together illumine us both with the sharp, absolute light of higher intelligence. So be it. May we both not have enmity or incompletion with each other. Let there be peace, peace, peace. Let there be peace in my inner space, peace in nature, peace in divine forces. Listen. The context of Indian education system, how the education in Vedic tradition existed, how it was happening, The other day I was reading a Macaulay's letter to British Parliament. He writes to British Parliament, I went all around this country, north to south, east to west. I have not found a single person who is lying, who is telling lies. I have not found a single beggar. Please understand. I have not found a single beggar. I have not found one person lying. People are so fulfilled. If we want to rule this country, we have to break their backbone, their strength, their education. I'll read out the exact letter. It is addressed February 2nd, 1835. I have travelled across the length and breadth of India, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, people of such caliber, that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is our spiritual and cultural heritage. And therefore, I propose that we replace our old and ancient education system, our culture, for if the Indians think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. Understand the strength of Indian education system. This was Macaulay's address to the British Parliament on 2nd February 1835. You can all see the letter and his face. Anyhow, understand the value of Indian education system, what kind of human beings and society we produced. Listen. Only when the education is producing the human beings of higher consciousness, it can be called as education. Not just some skills or talent. Set of skills and talent does not make you educated, as I said. Uneducated are those who are educated only in schools. Uneducated are those who are educated only in schools. Please understand, in any civilization, any culture, any country, any society, if there is a peace, there will be a lot of research and development. Fortunately, we are the civilization naturally protected from all sides. Three sides ocean, one side large hills, mountains which can never be crossed with the ordinary efforts of human beings. This natural protection gave a tremendous peace to this Ganges Saraswati civilization between Saraswati and Ganga. That is why war was never a mainstream activity of Ganges Saraswati civilization. Please understand. In any civilization, whatever they feel as their greatest achievement, mainstream lifestyle, they build monument for that purpose. Please understand. If they think waging war and killing people is their mainstream lifestyle and purpose, they build monuments for warriors, people who lost their lives in the wars, or people who won the wars. Monuments are built. War memorials are built. Monuments for the victorious kings are built. If they think whatever human beings think is their greatest achievement, essence of their society, they build monuments for it so that the future will remember them through those monuments. Please understand. That is why I am saying the Ganges Saraswati civilization, the Indus Valley civilization, the Hindu civilization, waging war was never a mainstream activity for us. It was always only for defense and self-protection. You may ask how I am coming to this conclusion. Look at the monuments we made throughout the country. Not even 2% is war memorial or the kings who emerged victorious after wars. 95% of the monuments we built are monuments for education. %3 is for great educators and teachers. Understand? All our temples are not monuments of some war victory. It's a place for education in memory of the great teachers and educators. It's a samadhi of siddhas, not monument of great kings. Only 2% is monument of great victorious kings or war memorials. 98% is for education and great educators, teachers. Understand? All the big temples are built for siddhas, great educators. Based on the monuments, you can understand what was highly respected in that civilization, in that society. I was also reading the Agama Shastras, the science of building villages and cities. Everything was centered on education, knowledge, and teacher. That was really surprising. Warriors were only a small part of a society. Given a very small place of security job, that's all. Mostly their job is security job or attending, serving during any natural calamities. That was their regular routine. I am not saying we never waged wars. We waged wars, no doubt. That was not our mainstream lifestyle activity. There was so much peace, so much of research, development, so much of knowledge creation and spreading, so much exploration on space, under the water, under the earth, into the fire. So much has been done, so much knowledge was available. Even whatever is left out is unimaginable, unmatched. Humanity may take at least 5,000 years to catch up with Vedic knowledge. To catch up with our education system, they may take even 10,000 years. Understand, the statements I am making are not out of ego, arrogance, self-pride or anything. I am simply stating the fact. Simply stating the fact. Simple truth straight away as it is. Simple truth straight away. We put so much of attention on Arjuna becoming a greatest warrior from an emerging out of Gurukul, but we forget from the same Gurukul, Sahadeva emerges as the greatest astrologer. It means what? A whole department of astrology was functioning in that same Gurukul. But we were so glamoured by Arjuna emerging as the greatest archer and Bhima emerging as the greatest wrestler. We forgot Sahadeva emerged as the greatest astrologer. Please understand, even to be a greatest archer, you need the knowledge from multiple other disciplines. If you see the monuments of our country, what we built, what we revered, what we respect, what we want to be, what we want to remember, how we want to be remembered. Understand these two. What we want to remember when we were in the body, life, how we want to be remembered by our next generation. All these aspirations were centered on education. All these aspirations were centered on education. So much of knowledge on physical health, mental health, consciousness, powers of consciousness, so much was available. Our education system, our Gurukul system, making human beings, should again become the mainstream education system. Should again become the mainstream education system. Please listen. When I read the Shanti Mantra, I can see very clearly the context of Indian education system, which was always towards higher and higher intelligence. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu mavitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we both together be protected. May we both be nourished and enriched. May we both bring our hands together and work with great strength, energy and enthusiasm. May our study and learning together illumine us both with the sharp, absolute light of higher intelligence. So be it. May we both not have enmity or incompletion with each other. Let there be peace, peace, peace. Whenever I read this verse, again I fall in love with Indian education system, our Gurukul system. What a powerful beginning, where teacher and students sit together and say, see the context. Nowhere Guru is claiming, I am going to teach you, you are the student. Nowhere he is demanding obedience from the disciple. Nowhere disciple is made to feel is new. Actually, there is no psychological ragging here. See, the ragging starts from the teachers. Please understand. In any education system, in any educational institution, ragging starts from teachers. It's the teachers who feel insecure about the new, fresh, vital energy coming inside. They want to make a statement, hey, you are there, we are here. It is they the way they behave makes the senior students set the trend. Ragging starts from so-called professors, teachers, principals in any education institution. They just want to illogically bulldoze and make a statement be there. Not even one iota of ragging here. He says very beautifully, may our study and learning together. Because our masters know these apaurushya Vedas has multiple layers of meaning. Even if a teacher is teaching Vedas for 50 years, 51st year, when he opens the manuscripts again, when he opens the palm leaves again and reads the same line, he may click with a new meaning because he knows it is from Akashic records. So he is speaking from that humbleness. May our study and learning together illumine us both. Please understand, he is telling, illumine us both with the sharp, absolute light of higher intelligence. Sharp, absolute light of higher intelligence. I think the teachers should have this space, this context. Teachers should have this space and this context. Each one of this line introduces our education system and the context with which our system was evolved. Next statement, may we both not have enmity or incompletion with each other, because we are going to live together. Understand? Guru and disciple are going to live together. So not having incompletion is very important. See, if you don't live together, like this modern day, non-involving narrative education system, where there is no living together, there is no involvement with each other, then the possibility of incompletion itself is not there. But when you live together, not to have incompletion is very important. Teacher can always establish his superiority and let disciple not have incompletion. But he is not doing it. He says, it's very clear, please understand, by the authority, you can never make somebody without incompletion. Only by your authenticity, you can make others complete. Never by authority, it is by authenticity. Whether it takes time, months, years, it's only by the other person realizing the teacher's authenticity, Guru's authenticity, he becomes complete. Completion cannot be achieved by authority, it's only by authenticity. I'll continue to expand on this verse the further satsangs. As you all may be aware, yesterday we were in Prayag, Tirtharaj Prayag, Kumbha Nagari, having snan in Triveni. I think yesterday is the first time I have spent such a long time in Sangam. After the Sangha started, even during Kumbh Mela time, we go and just take a dip, and in 10 minutes our Akada has to vacate the place for the next Akada to come. So usually Mahanirvani gets the first snan, because Mahanirvani is respected as the highly educated, disciplined and culturally rich Akada. It's actually from Mahanirvani all the Akadas were formed. There are records even 100 years before. Only the Mahanirvani Acharya can give sannyas to any Akada. All the other 13 Akadas did not have a separate Acharya Mahamandaleshwar or a Guru to give sannyas on their own. All of them have to come only to Mahanirvani Acharya for sannyas. So in all Kumbh Melas, Mahanirvani gets the first snan. It's a good news. Same time, they have the pressure of vacating the place for the next Akadas. Usually the last Akada, the Bairagis and Vaishnava Akadas, they come last, but they get a lot of time. They get almost 30 minutes. But the first Akadas, we get the first dip, but early morning, it will be around almost 3:30, you have to get ready and be there in that shivering cold. And only 10 minutes. 10 minutes. But with Mahanirvani entering the water, Kumbh Mela starts. We start the Kumbh Mela. But even in those times, we don't get time to spend with Triveni, so much time. Yesterday, we really had good snan, great darshan of Triveni and snan. And today again we have long day preparing for Shivoham process. Shivoham process is starting tomorrow. Shivoham in Shiva's home. So today is the last day of inner awakening. We are going to work on past life regression, cleansing all your past life patterns. And we also have Sri Vidya Homa, worshipping Mother. Please understand, only with the blessings of Mother you can enter the Shiva's home. She has the key. She has the key. It's Mother who has the key. She is the Mokshadayini. She is Muktidayini. So today we will receive Mother's blessings, Devi's blessings, and enter into Shiva's home to have Shivoham. So today we have a long day. All the participants need to get ready. Anybody who is here for tomorrow's Shivoham process, if you have already done inner awakening, you can also join the past life regression process. How many of you are here for Shivoham process? If you have already done inner awakening, please keep your hands raised. You can come for the past life regression process. You can be part of it. And If you have not done an inner awakening, you may not be able to do it because you don't have the introduction. You don't have the context. So, but even if you have not done inner awakening, you can join Sri Vidya Homa. That I can easily give you the introduction and set the context. But this past life regression, you should have gone through all these different completion process and initiation. Only then it will open up. Only then it will open up and you will be completing it. So we have a long day. Yesterday also it was a long day. It was not just Snan. The whole emotional roller coaster you go through and come down. When you see Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, oh God, it's too much. I have decided secretly after the IA I am going to go and spend there for a few days and go back to Bangalore. I just have to see my calendar, how it is. Even otherwise, I said, yesterday itself I decided, either after the IA I will spend few days, otherwise I am coming back to spend few days with Sangam. She is just too much. Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. Before the public life, I spent a lot of time with Triveni, Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. After the public life, it was always for Kumbh Mela and overcrowded, oh God. If you have seen Kumbh Mela and seen yesterday that ground, you will be shocked. Oh God, this ground becomes that city. Just plain ground. It becomes a city where 15 crore people live. Please understand, Allahabad population is less than 15 lakh. It's less than 15 lakh. All of you need to know, there is no regular airport. There is no regular airport in that city. Only army has an airport. Very rarely they allow the civilians to use it. That is also not airport fully. It's just airstrip, that kind of a infrastructure. It's a plain ground with just river, sand. You can't even lay a foundation. And I was trying to locate where our camp was. Finally I located based on the railway bridge because our camp was just below the railway bridge. Such vast land, empty land becomes a city for crores of people during the Kumbh Mela. So today we have a long day. Get ready for the spiritual process. With this, I bless you all. Let you all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Advaita, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
Nityananda Dhyanapītam, Nityananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nityananda.org. www.youtube.com/lifeblissfoundation.